back for our daily NBA predictions here for Saturday, March 1st, and we have 6 games today in the National Basketball Association. We're going to predict every single one of them, obviously like we've been doing all year long here with the National Basketball Association. Not gonna lie, the slate's not that loaded today. I mean, the 2 biggest games today I would say are probably Kings Rockets and Bucks Mavs, but, you know, I had to throw Steph Curry on the thumbnail, so that's why you got Steph and Paul George. Ooh, podcast B. I'll get into the 76ers in a little bit, but again, we've got 6 games today in the NBA. And folks, before we get into the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily NBA predictions here on the channel. Earlier today, we posted our 10 best bets for college basketball, so a lot of college basketball action today. Make sure to join us for that video. Again, link in the description down below, along with our UFC predictions with Manel Kopp and Asu Almabayev in the UFC Apex tonight. Make sure to check out that video. That is linked in the description down below. It is the final Greedo Plays, our final UFC video here on the Greedo Plays channel. Why? Because we're going to Greedo Plays MMA tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow we're going to have our UFC 313 predictions with Magomed Ankalaev and Alex Pineda in the main event. Make sure to check out that video tomorrow on Greedo Plays MMA, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. All right, on to the first of our 6 NBA games today. We start in Charlotte, North Carolina. Oh, a real barn burner. The 14-44 Charlotte Hornets take on the 10-48 Washington Wizards. Ooh, what a matchup. Give me Charlotte at home. I do think Charlotte's just better. LaMelo Ball is questionable, and it's weird. The Charlotte Hornets, they never, put out their injury report, so you never know who's going to play. They'll give guys the injury tag, but they'll never write the full, on ESPN, I don't know, maybe it's just a Hornets thing, or the ESPN's just glitched. They'll never write out the full injury report for the Charlotte Hornets. So it's all right, take your pick and take your guess on if, Charlotte's going to play their guys or not. I'm willing to think that they're going to play LaMelo Ball. It's one of these games that the Hornets can know they can win, but also they want to out-tank the Wizards, though. We're playing capture the flag now here in both DC and Charlotte, North Carolina, so maybe they try to lose this. It's a tank-off, man. If you watched our college basketball best bets video from earlier today, and you should if you haven't, we did talk about a game between Arkansas, Pine Bluff, and Mississippi Valley State. This is the NBA equivalent to that game. Washington has been better, and that's why I thought about picking them. Because, Chris Middleton's on this team now, and they're playing a little bit better. They've been playing competitive ball. But their last game on Wednesday against the Blazers was just so unimpressive, and they're injured now, too. Oh, okay, I didn't know they were this injured. No, so Washington's definitely trying to win the tank battle. Honestly, all right, the Hornets are going to see this Wizards injury report, and they're going to say, but Melo, yeah, you don't got to play this one, dude. Here's $10,000, don't play this game. Because Alex Sarr is probably not playing tonight. No Sadiq Bey, no Jordan Poole, no Malcolm Brogdon. All right, the Wizards are really trying to lose. So I think the Hornets suck less right now. I think Miles Bridges has obviously been doing his thing quite a bit this season. Basketball-wise, he's been doing his thing. He's been playing basketball well. Just got to clarify. Yeah, give me the Hornets. Give me Miles Bridges, potentially LaMelo Ball, and the Hornets to win, even though this team's been so horrible since they beat the Lakers. Yeah, I'll take the Hornets to finally get off the schneid. Give me Charlotte at home to win. At -4.5, I don't bet on that. Just don't. No, I wouldn't advise you to take a -500 favorite, but if you really are getting the itch to bet on Charlotte Hornets basketball, take the money line and then parlay it with this, -500 Detroit. Normally, I'd never say to do that, but actually, no. There's a game in a couple that's way better to parlay that with. Again, that's only if you're getting really the itch to really want to bet on Charlotte Hornets basketball. Don't. And again, don't bet Pistons -500. That's not a good bet. But the Pistons will win at home against the Brooklyn Nets. I've given up full hope on a Brooklyn Nets play-in run, not because of the Nets entirely. Sure, kind of because of the Nets, but I do think they're going to continue to get better as the season goes on. Again, I think Jordi Fernandez definitely is deserving of a look at potentially Coach of the Year this season for what he has been given, obviously. But again, they're getting healthier now. Cam Thomas is back, obviously. Cameron Thomas is back in the lineup and everything. They are getting a lot healthier. But the thing is, they're going to Detroit. Now, I've given up kind of hope on the Nets playing run. Again, not entirely because of Brooklyn, but honestly because I think Chicago is going to continue to find ways to win. They're only 2.5 games up in the Nets right now, but But I tried to say yesterday, guys, and I am wearing a Raptors jersey. I'm just wearing this because, Vince Carter, and this jersey is really cool. But anyways, we said that the Bulls were going to beat the Raptors yesterday. They did it in overtime, and Josh Giddey had a night. Now, Kobe White obviously hit the and 1-3 to send it in overtime, but Josh Giddey played another tremendous game, and Toronto's playing good ball. Sorry, Chicago's actually kind of playing decent ball right now. I think the Bulls are going to kind of continue to find ways to win. I get their schedule's tough, but, Brooklyn struggles against everybody too, and I think their schedule's kind of difficult too. Not as much Chicago's. I don't know. They both suck. Like, they're both losing in the first play-in game to either Atlanta or Miami. Or Orlando. So, anyways. I'm taking Detroit to win this one. That should be to the shock of absolutely nobody. Yeah, they lost to the Nuggets yesterday. They let us all down. Whatever. They lost to that zero defense team. Whatever. They should bounce back here and win. Cade didn't really play all that well against against Denver. Malik Beasley was actually the Pistons' leading scorer in that Denver game with 16. Which is like, how do they score 119 points when Malik Beasley was their leading scorer with 16 points? Tobias Harris scored 12, Asar scored 13, Cade went 3 for 12 from the field and scored 11. They got 16 off of Beasley from the bench. Holland scored 8. Fontenecchio scored 12. Didn't see that in the highlights yesterday, I'll be honest. Yeah, give me Detroit to win this one and dominate Brooklyn. It's just the Pistons are going to the playoffs, the Nets aren't. So give me the team who has something to play for. But Brooklyn kind of does too. I mean, those guys are still trying to make the plan, but yeah, I'll take Detroit. Don't take the minus 500 outright. If you want to parlay it with Charlotte Hornets money line, if you really want to bet on Charlotte Hornets basketball, do it. But I'd stay away from both. Yeah. I apologize for the lack of enthusiasm. Here we go. Houston Rockets taking on the Sacramento Kings. Trust me, the enthusiasm is going to go all the way back down when we talk about our next game. I don't mind the Rockets here, minus 4.5. I think they do beat Sacramento. Again, we've been talking about it. It's been a continuous thing that we've been talking about with the Kings. Like, okay, can they find their footing? Can they find their flow on offense? I think they kind of have their last two games, right? Levine obviously drops to the 42 against the Hornets, and they do dominate the Utah Jazz. Levine had like 23, I think. 22, I think it was. But those are the games the Kings needed. And I get it. They're against Charlotte and Utah, but they beat two bad teams, things you're supposed to do when you're a team trying to contend for a playoff spot. And obviously, again, it is what it is. You need those games to get back on the right track after that loss that they had, and the horrible loss they had the Friday before against the Golden State Warriors. So now they go to Houston. Here's this big, really big road run here for Sacramento and test on the road. 3 straight games against Houston, Dallas, and Denver. Let's see what they return to Sacramento with. It'll probably be 1-2 or 0-3, but still, we'll see how good the Kings really are now with Zach LaVine kind of accustomed to this style of offense. Not like it's too much different from Chicago, but still, and it's basketball too. It's not like he has to learn a new playbook, but regardless, I do think the Kings are going to be able to play better ball down the stretch of the season. I don't think they're going to allow the Suns to catch them, primarily just because how bad the Suns are. I think, honestly, the Blazers are more of a threat to catch the Kings. Regardless, I don't think the Kings fall out. But anyways, in the spot between Sacramento and Houston, I will take the Rockets. The Rockets are just better, right? The Rockets are... Here's the thing. The last time these two teams played, it was in Sacramento, and the Kings actually won 120-111. Obviously, again, De'Aaron Fox was still a Sacramento King and whatnot, but still, that was the most points anybody had scored all year long on the Houston Rockets, I believe. I believe 120 was the most anybody had scored. I remember that the announcers of that game making that a huge point. And then they do it again on January 16th back in Sacramento. The Kings score 132. So they did it twice. They scored the most points on the Rockets in back-to-back games against them, obviously. I think since then, has anyone scored more? No, they haven't. Oh, no, Cleveland scored 135. But no, Cleveland scored 131. Yeah, the Kings still own, the highest point total against one of the best defensive teams in the league, obviously in the Houston Rockets. Obviously, OKC is better, but whatever. Anyways, can Sacramento do it again? I think no. I think Houston does get them this time around. Yes, the Kings have been excellent against the Rockets all year long, but always in Sacramento. They haven't gone to Houston to beat them yet, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think they've played them actually in Houston yet this year. Yeah, both their matchups so far this year, their only 2 matchups have been in Sacramento. This is the last time these two teams play, at least in the regular season. And I think the Rockets do get them this time around. It's a good team, man. With Van Vliet, obviously, at the 1, I think he's kind of expendable, obviously, and I think this should be one of the targets, potentially. I think Trae Young should potentially be a target for the Rockets in the offseason, but I didn't think about it. Honestly, Trae Young to the Timberwolves. That would expand the Timberwolves championship window, would it not? I don't know. I wouldn't mind it. Anyways, the Rockets get Van Vliet, Jalen Green, Amen Thompson. Oh my goodness. Asar's on the Pistons. Dylan Brooks, and Alfred Şengün. It's a good team. I think they'll beat Sacramento. I think they're able to shut the Kings down defensively. Especially again, yes, the Kings found it, and they got it going against the Hornets and the Jazz. That's great. This is the one game where I think, again, this kind of disrupts their momentum. Sure, they look good against those teams, but you take on, again, the Hornets and the Jazz. You go from them to taking on potentially the best defensive team in the league. One of the best. It's just tough. It's tough. I'm going to take Houston to shut down the Kings, who I think, again, have kind of found it, but I think they're going to kind of go back to square one in this game. Then the Rockets really shut them down. I'm going to take Houston to win this game at home, and I will take the Rockets to cover the 4.5 points as well. We move on to our fourth game, and we go to Memphis, Tennessee for the Memphis Grizzlies and the Memphis Grizzlies and the San Antonio Spurs. Just like, all right, the Spurs play basketball. The Spurs are becoming such a hard watch. I'm not joking. With no Wembanyama and with an obviously injured De'Aaron Fox, they're just not fun anymore. And again, that's the Victor Wembanyama effect, but they just don't hit shots anymore. We thought they were bad with Wemby in terms of, oh, these guys can't help Wembanyama at all. Well, now let's look what happens without Wembanyama on the court. De'Aaron Fox hasn't really posted a big game since the Spurs' last win on the 20th coming off the All-Star break against the Suns. Since that 26-point performance, De'Aaron did drop 27 against the Pistons, but since then, 13 against the Pels, 15 in the second game against the Pels, and 7 against the Rockets. Oh. He's very clearly hurt. And I honestly think he's only just playing because he can get that Sacramento game on March 7th. I think they're going to shut him down after that. I wouldn't be surprised if they do it beforehand, and I think if you are De'Aaron Fox, I think you'd want to get shut down prior to that, because why wouldn't you? I think you'd want to be at full health going into Sacramento, the next time you play them, and just wait till next season when Wembanyama is back. But maybe he does play that game in Sacramento on March 7th. Okay, that's great. But I think that's after that spot, maybe they, let him play a couple more home games, and then you again usher De'Aaron into next season. There's no reason for him to keep playing. He's obviously hurt, and the Spurs aren't going anywhere this year. Again, they have fallen behind, obviously, the Blazers now in the standings. They're 24-33. They have no hope. They should shut it down. And they should have probably traded Chris Paul at the deadline too. But anyways, not like CP3's, a number one at all. But he could have helped the team, I guess. But anyways, we didn't know the Wembanyama injury was going to be where it's at. I assume CP3 is going to come back next season in a bench capacity. Anyways, the Memphis Grizzlies did lose last night to the New York Knicks. OG Anunoby with the go-ahead three-pointer. That's great. Good for the Knicks. The Knicks are still going nowhere in the playoffs, and I don't care what anyone says about that. They are first or second round exits. They will not even touch the Eastern Conference Finals because they are not better than 4 teams in the East. They're not better than the Cavs, not better than the Celtics, they're not better than the Pacers, nor are they better than the Bucks. They're not beating any of those teams in a 7-game series. Still, again, I give credit to the Knicks. They're not making it out of the second round. Anyways, the Grizzlies lost to New York. It is what it is. The Knicks might get you in one game. I think the Grizzlies easily bounce back on this spot, though. They're much better than the Spurs. Again, we talk about championship potential with the Grizzlies. I think there's more of a potential with them than the Rockets, but they're still kind of green, I think. Yes, obviously, Jaw's been in the spot before or twice, actually, now in the playoffs. But I just don't think the Grizzlies, again, are going anywhere. I think they do beat the Spurs here, but I think ultimately this Grizzlies team will fall to either 3 or 4 in the West. Selfishly, I hope they fall to 3, and then Denver goes to 4, so then the Lakers obviously are 2, and then, again, the Lakers only have to see 1 of OKC, Memphis, and Denver in the Western Conference Finals, or just in the playoffs in general. OKC and Denver, because they'd see Memphis in the second round. I'd much rather see Memphis than those other 2. But anyways, I'm going to take the Grizzlies to dominate the Spurs. Honestly, again, we know the Grizzlies are good. We know Jaren Jackson's great. This prediction isn't much on, we love the Grizz right now, as it is, the Spurs are just horrendous at basketball. They are. They're a joke right now. They're nothing but that. Memphis at home, they cover the 9.5. We move on to our 5th game of the video, and we go to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. For the Philadelphia 76ers and the Golden State Warriors. The Warriors are on a run. Is that all credited to Jimmy Butler? No, but they are playing great ball. Again, they are undefeated since Draymond Green guaranteed a championship. And my goodness, the game they played on Thursday against the Orlando Magic. No, let me make that clear. The game Steph Curry played on Thursday against the Orlando Magic. 56 points out of Steph Curry. Wow. The guy's elite at his age. Again, LeBron gets a lot of credit for what he's doing at his age. Steph Curry needs to start getting put in that same conversation. Obviously, again, yes, Curry dropped 56. Is he consistently doing it on the level of LeBron? No. But is he the all-around player LeBron is? No. But Curry is still playing at an elite level at his age. That's great. The Warriors have now built up a 5-game winning streak. Prior to the break, they beat Houston, and they come out the break. They go to Sacramento and win 2 back-to-back home games against the Mavs and the Charlotte Hornets, and obviously that win in Orlando against the Magic. They are in the midst of this East Coast road trip. Again, Philly tonight, Charlotte Monday, New York Knicks on Tuesday, and then staying in New York to take on the Nets on Thursday, March 6th, and they return home to Golden State or to San Francisco on the March 8th, from a Saturday from now. This specific game, yeah, they should beat the Sixers. Let's play the Paul George anthem real quick. I'll play it for you guys as I talk over this. But Paul George, again, he has quit podcasting, obviously. Great. To try to help the Sixers make a playoff push, and not just a playoff push, a championship push. So let's play the Paul George anthem real quick. Hold on. And hey, PG kind of went off in the Knicks game. He played well. Best game of the year so far. Steps away from the podcast. I believe PG had like 25 points. It's, LeBron does this every single night, and we're making a big deal out of one Paul George performance. He's much younger than LeBron too. But hey, PG, 25, 8 and 7. All right, there we go. They're still getting blown out tonight. I don't care. Tyrese Maxey is this entire team. If PG can start playing a little bit better, that's great. I'd be happy for Philadelphia if Paul George continues to play at somewhat of that level. But obviously this team just shut down Joel Embiid for the rest of the season. I think there's a good chance Joel Embiid has played his final game for the Philadelphia 76ers. I think it's a very good chance that just happened. So what are they now? They're Tyrese Maxey, Quentin Grimes, Kelly Oubre, Paul George, Gershon Yabusele. Yeah, the Warriors are beating this team. They are. The Warriors are easily going to beat them, I think. Philly, 3 games out in the play-in still. They can still actually get in. But I expect the Warriors to dominate here. Give me Curry, give me Jimmy Butler, give me Buddy Hield, and give me Draymond Green to go into Philadelphia and win. And also, Jonathan Kuminga, again, is ramping things up. I would expect Kuminga to be back soon. He's not going to play this game at Philly, but maybe again Monday in Charlotte, Kuminga is back for the Warriors, and my goodness, does that make them that much better? The Warriors are ramping up right now. Are they going to beat the Lakers? No, but I do think the Warriors are starting to become a little bit of a threat in the Western Conference. Are they title challengers, though? They're not. But hey, when Steph Curry is playing good basketball, the NBA is more fun to watch. Give me the Warriors on the road to dominate Podcast P and the Philadelphia 76ers. We go into our final game of the video, and we go to Dallas, Texas. We have the Dallas Mavericks taking on the Milwaukee Bucks. I like the Bucks to go into Dallas and win. The Bucks are coming off a win yesterday in a game that I didn't think they were going to win. So good on Giannis and the guys. They were able to win at home. Sorry, 2 days ago against the Denver Nuggets. Day off, obviously. Now here they are in Dallas. I don't know how the Mavericks are going to deal with the size of Milwaukee. I just don't know. Anthony Davis is still a week or 2 away. They're starting Moses Brown now at the 5, it appears, and PJ Washington is maybe back and going to start at the 4. That's fine, but still, Milwaukee should just be able to run all over them in terms of driving abilities. I mean, Giannis is questionable for this game, but we expect Antetokounmpo's probable, so he's going to play. I believe Giannis is going to have a field day down low against either PJ Washington or Moses Brown. Maybe Brook Lopez hits his Splash Mountain shot from the logo like he attempted the other night against the Rockets in Houston. But the Bucks should be just fine in this spot. They really should. Who made the schedule, by the way? Tuesday in Houston, Thursday back at home in Milwaukee, and then Saturday they go back down to Dallas to play the Mavs? Like, who thought of that? They couldn't just flip the Dallas and Denver games? I don't know. But Giannis is still doing this at an elite level, obviously, and I'm not trying to talk about Giannis like he's old. I mean, Antetokounmpo's still great. He's 30 years old. He's going to become a Los Angeles Laker by the time he's 32, and, Giannis is playing great, right? 28, 19, and 7 in the victory over the Nuggets. But Giannis will do against a team that's not going to play defense against him, obviously, right? The Bucks should be able to beat the Mavs. I'm not going to take Dallas seriously until Anthony Davis comes back. Sure, they were competitive with the Lakers the other night. Ended up losing. The Lakers are just finding ways to win close games now, which is great. That's what good teams do. That's what great teams do. And then the Mavs again on Thursday beat the Charlotte Hornets by 7 points. Okay, an uneventful game, but good for Dallas. They ended up winning it. the Bucks should be able to win this game. I think Antetokounmpo is able to really score a lot. We'll see how Dame does, and Kyle Kuzma is always a mixed bag, but I do think the Bucks are able to go on the road here and beat the Dallas Mavericks. They're 2.5-point favorites. I think they cover that. So again, play it what you will, but I do think again -2.5 is a fairly good bet here on the Milwaukee Bucks on the road. So folks, thank y'all for watching our NBA predictions here on March 1st. If you have not yet though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. We'll be back tomorrow for more daily NBA best bets or predictions and college basketball best bets. Folks, thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.